Dear viewers, welcome to our channel. Today, let's talk about the true extent of China's military-industrial complex and its war potential. China's war potential is not merely a subject of discussion but a comprehensive demonstration of its capabilities in various aspects. From shipbuilding and drone manufacturing to tank production, China has showcased remarkable strength. However, this display of potential raises numerous questions. For example, can China's high production capacity in military industry translate into genuine strategic advantages? Can China's military industry flexibly adapt to international war situations? Additionally, will the demonstration of China's war potential raise security concerns regionally and globally? For ease of discussion, we will benchmark against the Russia-Ukraine conflict and cover the following 5 aspects. Firstly, we note the significant loss suffered by the Russian Navy, the sinking of its pride, the cruiser Moskva, flagship of the Black Sea Fleet. This vessel was not only a crucial asset for Russia in the Black Sea region, but also the flagship of the fleet. Its sinking signifies the loss of dominance for the Russian Black Sea Fleet in the region. Turning to the Chinese Navy, we find a completely different scenario. In China, vessels similar to the Moskva cruiser, weighing tens of thousands of tons, are being built at an astonishing rate. The Chinese Navy possesses 8 Type 055 10,000-ton class guided missile destroyers, all completed within 2 years, equivalent to the construction of 4 such vessels annually. Additionally, there are 3 Type 075 amphibious assault ships in service, also completed within 2 years. If construction pace is accelerated, China is fully capable of producing 2 Type 075 ships per year. Furthermore, considering that the Moskva cruiser has been in service since 1982, it is outdated compared to China's newest vessels like the Type 055 or Type 075, which clearly surpass it in comprehensive performance. If we further examine other types of vessels in the Chinese Navy, such as the Type 052C and Type 052D, China currently has a total of 31 such warships, possessing formidable combat capabilities, theoretically enough to control the entire Black Sea region. This military strength is not only sufficient to neutralize Ukraine's Neptune anti-ship missile system but also capable of launching large-scale amphibious operations, directly capturing strategic locations like Odessa and Mykolaiv, rapidly turning Ukraine into a landlocked country, and completely blocking the Black Sea region. Russia currently imports Shahd 136 drones from Iran to fill the gap in its long-range drone production line. Russia has yet to establish a production line for long-range drones, whether for suicide attacks or reconnaissance and strike missions. In contrast, China not only possesses such capabilities but also appears quite advanced in this field. For instance, China once exported 300 Rainbow for drones to Saudi Arabia. In factories in Chengdu, these Rainbow for drones can produce 200 annually, with over 1,000 accompanying missiles produced. China's drone product line is diverse, with various functions, including the Winglong 2 reconnaissance and attack drone, the Fai Hong 901 suicide drone, the BZK-005 reconnaissance drone, the TB-001 high-altitude long-endurance reconnaissance drone, and the WZ-8 stealth unmanned attack aircraft. In terms of production capacity, the most widely used drones deployed in the current Russia-Ukraine conflict do not come from Russia or NATO member countries, but from China's civilian drone manufacturer DJI. DJI's annual production capacity reaches 1.8 million units, with an average monthly output exceeding 150,000 units, enough to supply both Russian and Ukrainian armies for a whole year. In fact, DJI's annual capacity is sufficient for both sides in the Russia-Ukraine conflict to fight in eastern Ukraine for 10 years. And this is only based on existing conventional production capacity without considering expanding production lines. Once DJI redirects some of its production capacity to military drone production, the monthly output can easily increase to 200,000 units, which is not difficult for them. In terms of tank production capacity, Ukraine's Kharkiv tank factory has suffered severe damage, rendering it unable to continue tank production, relying only on NATO assistance. Although Russia still has tank production lines, it cannot manufacture the highest configuration T-90 tanks due to a lack of thermal images, resulting in the cessation of production of the latest TR-14 tanks. China is one of the only 4 countries globally to possess the full set of thermal imager technology. In terms of tank technology, we are not reliant on any foreign technology and can manufacture completely independently. China's annual production capacity for the Type 99A main battle tank can reach 200 units, while the annual production capacity for the Type 15 light tank exceeds 100 units. Combined with the export tank capacity, China's annual tank production capacity can reach 500 units. In addition to tanks, China's Dongfeng Warrior armored personnel carrier can produce 6,000 units annually. Although China's tank production capacity may seem limited, it is entirely self-developed and can be expanded at any time. In terms of ammunition production capacity, Russia purchases ammunition from Iran, while NATO purchases ammunition from Pakistan, Serbia, and South Korea. China has a robust ammunition production capacity, with a stockpile of 40 billion bullets and over 5 million rifles in storage. From the 1950s to the 1990s, China produced 420 million artillery shells over 40 years. In the 1980s, a military region in Yunnan province scrapped over 1 million artillery shells. The reason for China's massive artillery shell reserves primarily stems from Soviet pressure at the time. According to the principle of universal military service, China produced over 1 billion hand grenades alone at that time. During the Sino-Vietnamese border conflict, the People's Liberation Army fired 1.06 million artillery shells within 28 days. In the 1984 Battle of Two Mountains, on July 12, Chinese troops fired 3,400 tons of artillery shells, with an average ammunition load per person exceeding 13 tons. These are all part of China's military industry, demonstrating its formidable defense and technological capabilities. When analyzing war potential, China has the capability to meet the ammunition consumption needs of both the Russian and Ukrainian armies, and even rapidly mobilize and equip a massive army with a scale of up to 3 million troops, almost equivalent to the total combined forces of Russia and Ukraine. History proves this point. In the conflict between Iran and Iraq, China provided both sides with over 4,000 tanks, 6 billion bullets, over 200 fighter jets, over 1,000 armored vehicles, and thousands of artillery pieces, while simultaneously supporting the production needs of thousands of domestic defense factories. Looking back 40 years ago, China's military industry was capable of meeting the enormous demand for weapons of 2 Middle Eastern countries simultaneously. Now, 40 years later, China's military-industrial capacity has not only significantly increased, but the performance of its weapon systems has also made a leap forward. We often mention the military power of the Soviet era, but even at its peak, the Soviet Union steel production only reached 140 million tons, while China's steel production exceeded 1 billion tons in 2022 alone. For example, the steel production capacity of a city like Tangshan in China has reached 124 million tons, ranking first globally. Hebei province's steel production is even higher, reaching 210 million tons, far exceeding the overall level of the former Soviet Union. In comparison, Russia's steel production capacity is only 75 million tons, a small fraction compared to China's. Even the total steel production capacity of all 40 NATO member countries combined cannot surpass China's. When discussing a country's war potential, although chip technology may be slightly lacking, as long as basic needs are met, it is sufficient to cope with them. However, when discussing prolonged wars and wars of attrition, the decisive factor is the amount of steel production. Without abundant steel resources, modern military industries cannot take shape. Once sufficient steel resources are available, manufacturing military equipment such as aircraft carriers, aircraft, tanks, and artillery shells is no longer a problem. This will greatly enhance a country's war potential, which is the confidence and strength possessed by China, the world's largest industrial country. Finally, let me summarize for the readers hoping you have gained some insights and thoughts. As a seasoned blogger, I believe we must be vigilant about the potential threats posed by the rapid development of China's military. China's high production capacity and advanced technology in military industry can not only provide strong support for defense, but may also change the regional and even global strategic landscape. However, we must also realize soberly that war is by no means the only solution. Only through dialogue and cooperation can true peace and security be achieved. Therefore, countries should enhance communication and trust, jointly uphold international order and regional stability. At the same time, the international community also needs to remain vigilant about China's military development, urging it to abide by international rules and obligations to achieve win-win cooperation and lasting peace. Continued attention to this viewpoint is crucial. Firstly, the development of China's military not only means a change in the balance of regional military forces, but may also escalate geopolitical tensions. For example, the frequent activities of the Chinese Navy in the Asia-Pacific region may cause concerns among neighboring countries. Secondly, the development of China's military may stimulate arms races in other countries, further exacerbating regional tensions and even leading to the breakdown of arms control mechanisms. In addition, the development of China's military will also affect the international security environment, triggering strategic adjustments and reactions from other major powers, increasing the risk of international conflicts. Therefore, continuous analysis and vigilance regarding China's military development can help identify potential risks early and seek solutions through cooperation and dialogue, maintaining peace and stability regionally and globally. From the perspective of the United States, analysis and vigilance regarding China's military development are particularly important. Firstly, China's rapid military development may threaten the strategic interests and position of the United States in the Asia-Pacific region. The strengthening of China's military power may challenge the United States' dominant position in the region and exert pressure on U.S. allies and partners. Secondly, China's military development may intensify geopolitical competition and arms races between the U.S. and China, increasing regional tensions and posing challenges to U.S. national security and international strategy. Additionally, China's military development may also affect the global strategic layout and military deployments of the United States, requiring the United States to adjust its military strategy and resource allocation. Therefore, the United States must closely monitor the trends of China's military development, take corresponding measures and policies to safeguard its national security and regional stability. At the same time, the United States should seek constructive relations with China, resolve differences through dialogue and cooperation, and promote peace and prosperity regionally and globally. Finally, by comparing with the recent Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can further analyze China's war potential. Although the situations of China and Ukraine are different, this war undoubtedly provides us with an observation and contemplation angle. We see that despite Russia's powerful military, it faces many difficulties in the war. This indicates that the transformation of military power is not a simple numbers game but requires comprehensive strategic planning and flexible responses. It is worth mentioning that China's demonstration of war potential has raised security concerns regionally and globally. Some countries are concerned that China's military strength enhancement may disrupt the strategic balance in the region and even lead to conflicts. Therefore, how to maintain national security and develop military industry while avoiding unnecessary security concerns is a problem that China must face. China's military-industrial war potential is undoubtedly huge, but this does not mean that it can easily be transformed into actual strategic advantages. At the same time, the demonstration of this potential may also trigger a series of issues and concerns. Therefore, we need comprehensive and in-depth analysis and understanding of China's military industry's strength and potential, as well as its potential impacts and problems. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next exciting content. Bye-bye.